Thank you, Shivani, for such a warm introduction. It really excites me to talk about technology, technology changing lives of people, and the opportunities that lie ahead of us based on the technology that we are developing. So very welcome, everyone. Good day. I'm here to talk about how the advancement in technology, deep technologies are happening, and what we collectively need to do about it. So very first chapter of my conversation is what is happening in terms of the digital industrial revolution. Last several hundred years have seen some or the other change. So if you look at the 1700s, there was coal and steam that drove the revolution. And just to tell you, there were always naysayers that disagreed or did not believe in the technology advancements. There was Jevons paradox in 1700s that talked about, hey, let's not drive efficiency. Let's not drive efficiency for coal, because if we drive improvement, people will start using more of it and the raw material will reduce. Then came the 1800. During 1860, a lot of electrification was happening. During this time came the Luddites. What did the Luddites do or ask? The Luddites said, let's not bring a textile machinery for making fabrics. Let's continue the hand-woven way. Now, we lived through the compute and the communication revolution. People even questioned the internet. What is happening now is amazing. It's a fusion of physical as well as digital. The world today gives me an amazing picture of what tomorrow will look like. Many of you may have heard of non-fungible tokens. These NFTs are not just for image, not just for paintings, but for anything. People can actually own moments of a game, a cricket game, moments of somebody's speech. So tomorrow's world is full of fusion of physical as well as digital. Very interesting times ahead, lots of changes, lots of technology advancements that will be required to drive some of these innovations. Now, many times we have thought of technology advancements and what are some of the basic solutions that these technology advancements provide. We've talked about data, we've talked about digitization, we've talked about solution and technologies. I truly believe that, working on artificial intelligence, working on cloud and edge, working on communication technologies like 5G, these are the enabling technologies that will drive the unleashing of the potential of data. Tim O'Reilly says that where there is data, there is power. But unfortunately, data comprises of a lot of noise. So we have to remove the noise and then look at the pure data. That is what is power. And how do we generate power out of data? Through processing of data, creating information out of data, enabling storage of data. India, honestly, is a data factory. The 1.3 billion people, each one of us generating tons of data every day with our choices, with our views, with what we shop, with what we enroll. So storage of data is absolutely critical. We process data, we store data, and then we allow the data to be transmitted. I honestly believe that very much like electricity, is transmitted to everybody's homes, the ability to compute data should also be like an ability that everybody can have access to from their homes. So unleashing of potential of data will be enabled through some of the technologies that I called out. AI being very significant and very, very critical amongst that. Now, oftentimes when we drive solution, it's not just one technology that enables. So when you think of phones, how did phones become so popular? The compute required for phone was not so hard, but the convergence of technology, the battery, the ability for processing, the ability to build cheaper displays, the kind of displays, 8K displays that you used to imagine for television sets was enabled. So oftentimes a solution is driven by a convergence of technology. And honestly, many of the use cases that you see, like I talked about phones, like I'm talking about 5G, like I'm talking about AI, happened because multiple technologies came together. Honestly, deep technology, the way we call it, the way we describe it, most all of deep technology leverages more than one solution, more than one technology to drive the solution. And more than half of them have, a very unique advanced technology. So for example, I talked about NFT. It leverages a lot of, Bitcoin-based technology, a lot of blockchain-based technology. So many of these deep technologies are reliant on something very advanced. If there are advanced technologies that are being leveraged, definitely, you need to make sure that you protect that technology through filing of patents. So it is very important to drive technology through the leverage of convergence of many technologies, enabling solutions, and the ability to protect that technology so you have an edge over your solution. I often talk about what are some of those areas that people are working on. So AI, definitely, many of us are contributing towards AI. But UN has come up with a list of focus areas for humanity. It is, eradication of hunger, looking at health, looking at education. And many of these deep technologies that, I'm talking about, that a lot of us are contributing towards, are trying to solve many of these, UN identified focus areas. 83% of the very, very successful companies have actually built physical products, not just, something that is there, non-tangible. People have built physical products that are solving many of these, areas that the UN has called out. Deep technology requires a lot of investment. I'm happy to share that India has invested about $1.5 billion. And we have, 2,500 thousand companies built on many of these deep technology areas. However, there is a long way for us to go. Countries like Israel, which are the size of Bangalore, have 10x investment and 10,000 deep tech engagement. It is absolutely essential to take India from being synonymous to software alone into an area where India is synonymous to technology and deep technology and physical technology, which is enabling all of these focus areas of the world. So we need to do something different. We need to come together. We need to drive building of solutions. We need to drive scaling of solutions. We need to partner in ways such that the shortage of investment is overcome by the ideas that we have and addresses the need of what we have to build and enable scale. Talking about AI today has the ability to create 15 to 17% additional GDP to the world. Now, countries like China are looking at almost 30% growth. United States is looking at something like a 14 to 15% growth. NASSCOM did an analysis which says India, if leverages AI correctly, has the ability to generate $500 billion growth to the GDP by 2025. While I talk about some of the gaps in deep tech investment, deep tech startups, I'm happy to share that every year, India is adding 500 plus tech startups from 2017 to now, 3.5x growth. India sees 55,000 startups, and a lot of them that have accomplished the status of a unicorn, 21 of them happened just in 8 months of 2021. Imagine all of this while the pandemic was raging. So if the pandemic was not raging, I bet you we would have seen more than 21 unicorns. Overall, 60 plus unicorns and a significant amount of growth, a lot in the area of tech landscape. If I tell you, what were some of the areas where, these startups were growing? It's AI, it's IoT, it's big data, it's, blockchain, augmented reality, virtual reality. Exciting thing is bulk of, 60 some percentage of these startups are in the area of AI and IoT. And what is exciting is many of these AIs based startups today, are in the areas of retail, social commerce, but I am also seeing many of them are growing into the space of education, health, e-pharmacy, coming out, of the needs that the world is seeing. So today's startups AI are working on the needs of the world. Tomorrow's startups are already looking at taking India ahead. I'm very excited to tell you that some of the startups that I personally engaged with, were also in the space of looking at quantum internet, to be precise. So a lot of exciting opportunities, a lot of exciting focus areas, and many, many startups that are committing to the needs of what the world is facing today. AI is transformative. I already know, because like I said, it's helping us in health, it's helping us in education, it's helping us with e-retail. A lot of us are shopping, our vegetables online. But honestly, AI is going to be pervasive. Wherever there is data, wherever there is value coming out of data, wherever there is value coming out of history, you will see AI. Consumer, health, finance, retail, governance, energy, you name it, transport. We are ourselves as Intel invested in many of the AI initiatives in the space of health, education, and smart mobility. Industrial Revolution 4.0 is counting on technologies, automation technologies like AI. WhatsApp is a good medium of sharing information. And one such share came to me where, a very simple equation showed that if we enable growth in efficiency day over day for a year, only by 1%, make yourself 1% more efficient, effective day over day, by the year end, you would have been 38% more productive. 38 times more productive. I stand corrected. However, if you lose 1% efficiency day over day over day, in the end, you might end up with nothing, almost zero. So AI driving automation, many of the other technologies enabling digitization to create efficiency such that not only do we see significant gain in our GDP, our lives, our quality of life will get impacted. In the end, technology is only as good as the value it creates. And the whole purpose of sharing this WhatsApp message with you was to tell you that each technology that we are investing in, the deep technology, it must translate into value for humanity in terms of economics, in terms of social, as well as technology advancement. So if we require building of a technology solution, we have to look at convergence of technology. If we have to look at convergence of technology, collaboration is very important. No one company, academia, government is good in everything that is required. I've already proven to you that solutions of today are based on multiple technologies coming together. So if we are building solutions for tomorrow, it is important to collaborate. It is important to therefore collaboratively invest. Once we are collaboratively investing, then we can build a solution. If we are building a solution based on multiple technologies with collaborative investment, only then can we think of scaling. Scaling not just for the 1.3 billion people that we have in India, but scaling for the 7 billion for the world. I'm happy that our plugin has housed many startups outside of India as well. I'm excited because industries, corporate enterprises have begun their 4.0 journey. Many startups that were housed in the plugin program, many of different incubators that many of you have. The startups are showing signs that they have arrived in terms of looking at the cutting edge technology. We have to come together and drive investments, collaborations to scale. I'm really happy to tell you that our plugin alliance comprises of partners that are investors, partners that are startup, partners that are industry, all kinds, very large, medium, small, micro, all of them. We have government, we have academia. The only way to drive the $1 trillion plus growth in Indian economy, or to see the 50% growth that is touted for AI or any other technology, the only way is to come together. If we come together, we have eradicated or almost eradicated, and also I hope this pandemic, we came up with vaccines, we've come up with medications. We will eradicate the poverty. We will address people's health and education. All we need to do is come together. Under this, the aegis of this alliance, we not only have ideas, we not only have entrepreneurs, we have people who are investors, we have VCs, we have people who will help with regulatory and policy requirement. We have government with us. We have incubators with us. We have people who will handhold and enable go-to-market. I'm very happy to tell you, while our plugin program has been very choosy, with only 6% of the ideas admitted into this program, I'm very happy to tell you that 66% of the startups under plugin are already revenue generators. I'm very happy that over the last few years of journey, 3 years with plugin and before even with the Intel startup program, we have hundreds of startups that we've incubated and supported. And many of them revenue generator. So I keep telling my team, what excites me is not just the number, because we can incubate many, but if 90% of them die in 5 years, what good is it? So handhold them to success, handhold them to be revenue generators. That's the goal. And I'm very happy to say many of the startups have even been showcased by the partner members. I don't want to name, but technologies like, vision-based analytics, looking at, different areas to address quality. Many such startups were showcased by partner members, so found customers from within the alliance. I'm excited about India turning 75. I'm excited about India being able to generate, trillion plus through technology. And I'm excited that we together have an opportunity to help drive the India at 75, growing our GDP, doubling, tripling, or even more. Let's dream to generate much more than $1 trillion through technology in the next few years. Thank you very much. Collaboration is the name of game. If we collaborate, we build and we scale. Thank you very much.